This is an actual working farm. They have, I don't know how many, over 100 cows. And they all seem like dairy cows. And yesterday they were all, well, maybe not all, but a lot of them were in that area, fenced off area, eating. Probably getting milked at some point. And they have 6 official RV spots for vans, but there were probably 9 vans here last night. They were all parked wherever they could, because this is one of the few places in the area that have electricity, water, dump, and at a really reasonable price. This is a basically just a self-service, minimal amenities type campground here. That's pretty common in France, called airs. Airs are also what the highway rest stops are called. So this is basically a rest area. I got some sheep over here of some kind. We only paid 7 euros per night, and that includes electricity, so that's really good. And then you pay 3 euros to use the dump and fill facility. Which 2 nights we stayed here, so we pay 14 for the 2 nights, and then we're paying 3 to empty our tanks and fill up our tanks before we go. We stayed here the last 2 days because the weather forecast was pretty bad, and we didn't want to be roaming around if the weather's going to be bad like this. So today we're actually going to go to Utah Beach. This will be the last of the Normandy beaches that we're going to visit. Utah Beach is not too far from here, maybe half an hour. And from Utah Beach, we're gonna go see some of the Band of Brothers stuff today. We're also gonna go by Braycor Manor, which is in episode 2 of Band of Brothers. This is the famous battle scene where Lieutenant Dick Winters and just a handful of his men took down 4 105mm cannons that the Nazi German army was using to bombard Utah Beach. And then I think lastly what we'll do is we'll check out the town of St. Marigliese. That's also featured in episode 2, I believe, of Band of Brothers. So we're just getting packed up now. We are gonna head out of here. And tonight, I think we'll end up at a little campground just outside of St. Marigliese. Hopefully it'll work out. This is the famous Braycor Manor. It's private property, so you can't go, but on the far side of this field is where the German 105mm artillery guns were located. This is a monument, a memorial for Easy Company 506 Paratroop Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division. You can't really see anything anymore from the battle, but it would have been at the far end of that field. There would have been a trench and a German position that was undetected prior to the 506 coming here and finding it out. And by taking out those 4 guns, they saved hundreds of lives on Utah Beach that day. If you watch Band of Brothers, this was episode 2 about Braycor Manor that was led by Lieutenant Winters. And Lieutenant Winters became the commanding officer for Easy Company, primarily because the C-47 carrying all the leaders of Easy Company was shot down on D-Day. So the commanding officer, Lieutenant Thomas Meehan, was killed, and he's memorialized here. This memorial is on the Braycor Manor property, so it is with the owner of the property's permission that this is able to be here. You can come visit this memorial, but there's really nothing here. It's just a very unassuming intersection. A couple of two-lane roads. A few cars drive by every now and then. And there's the tiny village over there where they would have started their assault. The assault at Braycor Manor is what gave Lieutenant Richard Winters his Distinguished Service Cross, the second highest honor in the U.S. Army. And the tactics that he used that day is still being taught in military schools today. It's a statue of Richard D. Winters, who landed here in Normandy, leader of Easy Company. He died in 2011, and this is dedicated on the anniversary of D-Day 2012 by the World War II Foundation for Lieutenant Winters, later became Major Winters.
Got me running? I'm really cool. Like a twin!
Bye, twin. Watch the car for us. And finally here we're at Utah Beach. This is the fifth of the 5 beaches during D-Day invasion from the sea. And this is one of the beaches that the American Army infantry landed.
Wow.
They built it above a German fortified position.
Is this a German position?
Mm-hmm.
How did you go?
See, this German fortification was captured from the enemy on June 6 and used by the 1st Engineer Special Brigade as the headquarters. Here's a replica of a Higgins landing craft. Give you an idea about the size of what one of them would have been like. It was designed by Andrew Jackson Higgins.
These are little openings for shooting and looking. What are spiders?
This one was built in October 30th, 1942.
See, this is wheel
Yeah,
for World War II.
for sure. Look how, like, busted up it is.
Mama, the lightsaber is older than is more primitive than the wheel.
This is the museum at Utah Beach. We're not gonna go in. It's €8 per person, and kids above 6 also have to pay. So that means all of us will have to pay. So we're just gonna walk around a little bit and then head over to St. Marigliese, where we will be spending the night. This is pretty cool though, to be at Utah Beach. There's still a lot of stuff that you can look at outside. Memorials, leftover hardware from the war, and this mock-up of a Higgins landing craft. That's really cool. And of course, a souvenir shop. Always a souvenir shop at places like this. Stay there, twin. We'll be back. We are now in the town of St. Marigliese. This is the town where there is a church, and one of the airborne paratroopers, as he landed from his parachute was caught on one of the corners of the tops of the church. So it was just dangling there from the top of the church. Private First Class John Steele. And he played there for 3 hours so he wouldn't be killed. And then he was rescued. Survived D-Day. This town also is in the second episode of Band of Brothers. So this will sort of be like our last stop in the tour of seeing locations from Band of Brothers, at least in the Normandy area. We're going to go see at some point later in our travels the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. We've driven near it a couple of times. We haven't stopped yet. So we can see the Battle of the Bulge near Bastogne. We'll also go back to Zelensee, which is also where the 506 Easy Company were stationed for a while. We're at an actual commercial private campground. It's called Camping St. Marigliese. It is one of the few private campgrounds we ever stayed at. The reason why we're staying here is a couple. One is that they have nice showers, so we're going to stay here for their showers. And second is they are right in the town of St. Marigliese. See the Screaming Eagle emblem up there? It's kind of a U.S. Army themed campground. St. Marigliese also has a museum in town called the Airborne Museum. It features a lot of the artifacts and memorabilia from the 101st and 82nd Airborne that landed here the early mornings of D-Day in the support of the beach landings of Utah Beach. So this campground is close enough. Actually, it's basically in town. So we're just going to walk over to the church, walk over into the town of St. Marigliese, and tour around a little bit. We've seen a lot today, starting with Braycor Manor to Utah Beach. We drove by Carentan. We drove through St. Marie du Mont, and we're ending at St. Marigliese. This is pretty exciting. I've been a fan of the show ever since it was first released back in 2001. So that's 20 years ago. I didn't think 20 years later I would be spending this much time around here. Did they reenact this?
Yes.
No, but like the paratroopers, or is that like photoshopped in, I wonder? Yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
So this used to be where 3,000 of the U.S. soldiers were buried before they moved them. I'm guessing they moved them. There's actually I think there's a cemetery here too somewhere, where they moved them to, or they could have moved them to Omaha Beach. So they turned it into a sports field. 9th Infantry, 79th Infantry, 1st Engineer Amphibious Brigade, 82nd Airborne, 101st Airborne, 4th Infantry. Yeah. 70th Tank Battalion, 746th Tank Battalion, and 90th Infantry. There actually is a cheaper place to stay that's actually even closer to the center of town, but there's no showers there, which is one of the things that we wanted to do while we're here. Being that it's been so rainy, they do have a washer and dryer, but I don't think we have anything more to dry or wash anymore. We've done them all. We managed to get them all dry over the last few days, but if we want to wash another load, we'll have that as an option. So we're paying, by the way, we're paying 17 euros for a non-electricity site, 20 euros if you want electricity, so 3 more, and then we are paying an extra €2.50 per kid, so we're paying another 7.50 on top of the original 17. So we're paying 24.50 a night to stay here. It's more than what we paid by a lot in this last month, but it's not necessarily an expensive place compared to how much some of the other places we've seen could charge. Some places could charge in the upwards of 30, 40, 50, 60 euros even. So it's not too bad. Every now and then we're okay to stay in one of these places. The added benefit, of course, is that there's a place to walk to, things to see, you know. So sometimes we'll pay the extra fees to stay somewhere just for that, to be able to walk somewhere. And the fact that we can walk right here to St. Marigliese, and we literally just been walking for like 5 minutes and we're here. This is today's Sunday, so there's actually some stuff going on. A little bit more crowded than we like given the current situation, but you know, we'll keep our distance. There's even like some carnival-like activities over here. And here's the church. Night of the 5th to the 6th, 11 p.m. The house and barn where Mole Pommier lived were on fire. Firefighters tried to conceal the fire. They called for help with the alarm bell. Quickly, inhabitants came and gave a hand to firefighters. It was a time past the curfew, so German soldiers were watching them carefully. Suddenly, a recognized sound. The Allied planes were coming. German machine gun fired. Soon, hundreds of parachutes are to be seen in the sky. They are American paratroopers. Oh, they didn't expect it. There's the guy right there. I mean, obviously he's not the real guy, but they left a dummy version of him up there. His name is John Steele, and in fact, ever since what's happened here, he's been visiting this town of St. Marigliese ever since, until he passed away a few years ago. And he was made into a honorary resident, I believe, of this town. Fox Company.
He landed on his head.
And fainted.
Read it.
Paratroopers in the stained glass. Paratroopers in the stained glass. He was a replacement. He fought in Battle of the Bulge as a machine
He
gunner.
got sent to get water. He came back with beer in his helmet.
He looks like a guy who would do that. He's got his airborne badge and his wings, his jump wings.
You get that picture by the airplane?
You get that once you qualify as a paratrooper. This is the guy, Private John Steele. He's the guy hanging from the church. That was a nice little walk through St. Marigliese. I want to show you guys this cool army truck here at the campground that you can rent as a cabin you can stay at. I'm not sure exactly what country this truck is from. It is not American, but it is pretty cool. Has like some kind of box in the back that might have been original, but it was added on with some wood. Nobody's in there, so I'm gonna see if I can peek through the window for you guys. As you can see, there's a cool deck off the back. Just a bed, and a little countertop and a table. Pretty cool. And we're staying over here. Well, there you go, guys. That's our trip across Utah Beach, checking out Band of Brother locations all around the region. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna stay the night, and tomorrow head out and go find something new.